in sync. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's tidy up this a little bit. Looks a bit messy. It's looking a bit better than it actually does in real life, mates. Shit, mates. Sweet. Alright guys, welcome back to Naked Exposure. Last night I was going through my negatives, sorting through them, cataloguing, archiving over 100 rolls of colour negative, and I was coming to the conclusion eventually over the past couple of weeks that ColorPlus is a lot better than I first thought it was and was led to believe it was. I think Kodak has done me and so many other people dirty. It is an absolutely incredible film stock, and you know, recently I had the eureka that it is so much better than the price point, so much better than the marketing, so much better than the packaging. And my friend Grant felt the same way, so I thought I would just do a quick little video why I think ColorPlus is absolutely amazing and shines so bright, especially in today's expensive film market. So if you're familiar with ColorPlus, which I'm pretty sure everyone watching this will be, it is the most readily available film. If you go to your local like Boots drugstore thing, if you go to a supermarket and they somehow happen to stock film, they're gonna have ColorPlus. That's just the usual film stock that places have. In the past, it was such a cheap film. You could get it for about £2 a roll. Today, it's about £3.50 a roll online, which is still very affordable. It's about a third of the cost of a roll of Portra 400, and you would think the results would not be that strong, but as a matter of fact, they are so strong. One of the first reasons I think ColorPlus is absolutely amazing is the colours. And you know, it's ColorPlus, and that's the thing that will draw consumers into it. People that don't know anything about cameras or photography will be drawn into the fact that it says ColorPlus. They'll think good colours. It's clever marketing, but it also gives off a sense of cheapness calling it ColorPlus. But in reality, the colours are fantastic and they shine so strong for the price point. There is no other film stock at that price point, like Kodak Gold or anything like that, does not come close to ColorPlus. ColorPlus has these really warm tones that don't overdo it. It's really good with skin tones. It can be overexposed when shot at 100 ISO. It has such a nice, like velvety, smooth, warm tonage, which turns out is really easy to scan, which is a problem I have with a lot of film stocks. When I'm scanning some film stocks, they are really hard to scan. The colors can give casting. It doesn't do well in, you know, the dynamic range scene. ColorPlus is so easy to scan. When I chuck it into my, trying to get out of the way because my PlusTech scanners, they're scanners I use to scan all my images. When I'm using my PlusTech, I can just chuck on a roll of ColorPlus, scan each image, and usually the way it comes out, just no touch up, is the way I like it. It looks perfect, nothing needs to be done to it. It comes out really nice. The dynamic range is good, sharpness is good, skin tones are good, colors pop, and that is a lot for a film stock that costs £3 a roll. Especially today, £3 a roll is unheard of in the market today. A few years ago that was normal, but today that is amazing. Yeah, it kind of blows me away, to be honest. Now, the reason that I think we're getting kind of played dirty by Kodak is that ColorPlus is clearly a very good film. It scans well, great colours, great sharpness. It's just been marketed a very weird way, and I think that is just to make Portra and Kodak's more expensive like line of film stocks shine more. You know, ColorPlus's packaging is cheap, the color schemes are cheap, the name comes across as cheap, but the actual film quality and the chemistry that's been made and the emulsion, whatever, to make the stock is really good. And I think that you've just done some clever marketing to make it seem like a very cheap film. It probably doesn't cost any more to produce than Portra, or any less. They probably cost the same to produce ColorPlus and Portra, I imagine, just a thought. But we're being played to buy the Portra because, you know, ColorPlus is for drugstores. It's for point and shoot cameras that people buy the first time. It's for disposable cameras. It's for people that don't know what they're doing. When in reality, ColorPlus outshines a lot of, you know, say Fujifilm's film stocks, and it's so cheap. It's just, it is such an underappreciated king, and it was underappreciated by me too until recently. Another reason that ColorPlus just shines is because of the availability. You know, as I said, it's available everywhere. Online, you can get it at so many different like retailers and supermarkets and stuff. In person, you can go anywhere that supplies film. It will have ColorPlus. It's that availability and the sort of, it's the all-round package you're getting for that is amazing, and especially if you bulk buy ColorPlus, you can probably get it for so cheap each individual roll that it makes film not this super luxurious thing that you cannot afford to do very often. You know, in today's market, film has gotten so expensive in the past year, just to levels that it's just not even fun anymore. The prices, you know, you cannot shoot film a lot and send it off to labs if you're shooting, you know, high-end film stocks and getting it processed there. The market seems to be shifting, and I don't know if that's just because I do my own scanning and things, but the market seems to be shifting to do it yourself. Because film, I think we've been getting played, and especially in January when Kodak put up their film prices, they are playing us hard, and they are trying to play us, you know, they're trying to play the pity game. They're trying to play like, please pity us, you know, we're a company that went down when digital came. We kept going this whole time, and now film's starting to come back, and we really need to increase those margins because we need you to help us make a profit again. All this, like, you're being very anti-consumer, Kodak. Portra was expensive enough as it was, £9 a roll or whatever. That is very fine, and that is the highest end limit it should be. Putting it to £10.50 or £12.50 for Portra 800 is an insult. And I think that it will have damaged Kodak in the long run, to be honest, this price increase, because I think it makes people look for other options in the market. It doesn't make people think, oh, I'm just going to splurge and buy Portra all the time or Kodak's expensive films. It just makes me think, what other companies make film that's cheaper and same quality? You know, Fuji offers a lot of good stuff. Yeah, I think that is just very anti-consumer. So as long as Kodak wants to just keep increasing those prices, I'm fine just sticking to ColorPlus. That is totally fine with me. If that is not affected by these constant increases in price, it works so well for me, because I think the point I was trying to get to before I got really sidetracked was that ColorPlus works so well into this like home scanning setup. You know, when I'm using my Plus Tech, when I'm using a cheap film stock, when I'm sending it to a lab and getting it just processed, no scanning, it can cost me £7-8 to buy a roll of film, get it processed and scan it. £7 for an entire roll, the whole process. That is so cheap, and that makes film not super luxurious, not super out there, not like a really niche treat that you can do for yourself. Because me personally, I love analog photography. I purely shoot analog, and you know, it's not for the sort of hipster reasons or the sort of reputation behind it or the sort of scene of it. It's just because I enjoy it, and I think it has so much more longevity. You know, I was actually confused the other day. I was looking at someone that I follow on Instagram, someone that reached out to me on my channel recently. I think their name was Nick, if I remember. They followed me on Instagram, I followed them back, and I was looking at their profile, and it was a picture of him, and I thought, oh well, that's cool, nice picture. And I didn't think anything of it, just looked at it, was like, nice picture. Then I realized, like, that evening, I think, when I was looking at my phone again, I was like, that picture was taken 20 years ago. I was like, holy shit, I thought that was him now. I didn't know he was 20 years older than that. And I was just like, like the longevity of that, you know, an iPhone picture, and I think I've made this point before on this channel, and this point I'll always go to. I feel like a bit of a stuck in my time, sort of like old man but too young, trying to be edgy and all this. I'm not. I think that analog photography it's shown its test of time. It's shown how strong it can be. It's shown that the look is timeless. It doesn't get old, you know. When you look at an iPhone picture, it looks like an iPhone picture. When you look at an iPhone from 5 years ago and you look at a picture iPhone took 5 years ago, it was great at the time, cutting edge, amazing. Now you're like, that's an old iPhone picture. In 10 years from now, when people are looking at the iPhone 11 Pro's pictures, they'll be like, oh yeah, that was an iPhone back in 2020, that's what pictures it took. Film, it's not that. It's just, that's a really nice picture. I really like that picture. if it's a good picture, you know, it doesn't mean all pictures are good if you shoot film. Definitely not. Film can look awful, but it's that sort of, it's the beauty that it has, you know, it's the timelessness, it's the way that I can, one of those will work. Right, my goddamn battery died. The worst timing. What I was trying to get into was that here I have my negative folder. Now in this negative folder is every single color negative shot I've ever taken. So every single color shot I've taken in the past 2 years is in here. So it's 100 rolls of film, and this is my file storage. This is it. This tiny little box is sorted through with all my images, and it's kind of, it really works well for me. I love the way it works. So I have breakers between each camera. So here we have the Canon 81, then I have my Olympus XA, and then my Konica A4. And it goes from newest to oldest. So when I go to the start, it shows me the most recent roll of film I've shot through that camera. So here, for example, is the 1st of July 2020, hungover cycle to the beach with Simone and Aidan. That was a ridiculous hangover, not fun, but that was taken on the Canon 81 with a 50mm 1.4. It was ColorPlus 200, which is a very good example for what I'm talking about right now. It's ColorPlus, you know, that's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, ColorPlus 200 shot at 100, and it was developed by Exposure Film Lab. So here I have my entire photography process captured here in a visual representation. Works so well for me, you know, having everything stored on a goddamn external hard drive and worrying if this will break, and then exchanging to a new, you know, file format in the future when comes. Maybe in the future we don't use JPEGs, we have to transfer files. This is going to happen over the space of 40 years. Files are going to change, digital images are going to change the way we edit them and interact with them, the interfaces will change, and that whole transition of making sure your work survives through each generational leap of computing technology is not something I want to involve in my photography. You know, I am a computer nerd, I'm a computer geek, I absolutely love computers, I love, you know, the processors and stuff, I love like what graphics power stuff has, the amount of cores, the RAM, the screen resolution or screen refresh rate. I'm a geek, and that's a passion of mine as well as tech, but I don't want to involve that in my photography, and that is where the line is drawn for me. You know, I love things like the Sony A7 III and stuff, they're amazing cameras, but this is the way I like to do my photography, and having everything within here, knowing where it is, knowing where each camera is, and being able to visually see it, and then chucking this away works perfectly for me. It means I can also cut down on clutter on my computer. I don't need to have any photos stored on it at all. Just when I need an image, take my folder, pull out the negative, the shot, get my little template holder from my Plus Tech, chuck the negative strip in there, close it, and then chuck it in there. That's it. Whole process of getting my work, scanning it and making it a physical thing. And then if I really wanted to put a cherry on top, print it. Whole process here. We have something that is incredibly cheap to have, costs you less than a bloody, I'm trying to think, I don't know why I thought a Voigtlander Besser R2A, that we'll just go with that, a Voigtlander Besser R2A, amazing camera, but this whole setup, this whole thing, cheaper than that one camera. Or a digital camera, Sony A7 III. This whole process here is cheaper than a Sony A7 III, and this is forever. You know, maybe the printer will die, maybe my laptop will die, maybe the scanner will die, but the negatives are going to be in there. And the fact that ColorPlus, which is what this video was initially supposed to be about, and I went on a tangent, ColorPlus is the cheap film. It has amazing color, amazing latitude, you know, all the points I've made about it. But it can add, you know, huge value because it's so cheap. You can afford to shoot a lot. It scans well. It just works for my whole system that I have going on here. And it's made film not a super expensive thing. It's made it now a lot more comfortable. And I'm just enjoying having this, you know, something I know is going to work. ColorPlus works for my shooting style. It's so warm. It's so lovely. It's so pleasing, and the way that colors transition is perfect, and I would not change a thing about the setup. I absolutely love it. So I would just encourage you to, if you tried ColorPlus and didn't think it was that great, try it again. And if you're already shooting ColorPlus and you know how good it is, then you cheeky devil, because you were on it way before me or my friends were on it. So yeah, that was my ramble, my rant, my expressive love to the, you know, the format of film. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you have any thoughts about what I've said, if you want to disagree on ColorPlus, if you think it's a crap film stock, please leave a little comment below. If you've had any experiences, or if you know any other film stocks that are as good or better, please get in touch. Which reminds me, Lomo 800 is fantastic film stock. Still my favourite film stock in the world, Lomo 800, but that will be discontinued in the future eventually. But that's a story for another day. ColorPlus is great. Yeah, if you could subscribe to my channel, hugely appreciate that. And yeah, just keep shooting film. I'm going to leave you with this beautiful picture that I took on ColorPlus. I took it a year ago. I only scanned it last night, and when the pre-scan came down on my scanner seeing the image for the first time, I was just like, oh my god, ColorPlus. Jesus, it was just taken on my Konica Big Mini, just walking past, shot it in Glasgow, and that was it. Didn't think anything of it. A year later I see the image, I'm like, oh my god. That film cost me about £2 at the time. I was like, oh, I wish I had a good film stock in my camera. Couldn't have got that image better on any other film stock. So, my 2 cents. There you go. Thank you for watching my ADHD coffee rant. Welcome back. No, join me for another video. Yes, nailed that one. Whoa.